XRP is preparing for its biggest rally with institutional inflows in the trillions of dollars incoming, and a lot of people are starting to get impatient, but this is not the time to start doubting. In today's video, we're going to cover when BlackRock's ETF inflows should be expected. The countdown actually began weeks ago, but now we have less than 10 days remaining to the final SEC remarks, which will lead to hopeful tens, maybe even more in the trillions of dollars of inflows coming into XRP. Now, remember, as always, never financial advice, just trying to put you guys on the plays that I'm in. If you're new around here, smash the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and also consider subscribing to the channel. So the market continues to consolidate. We're seeing a lot of chop, sideways movements, a lot of ETF inflows coming into BTC and ETH, and a lot of these treasury companies are starting to capture a lot of people's attention. We know they've made them from BTC like MicroStrategy and many more. With ETH, we're seeing things like SBET and a few other publicly traded companies starting to use their funds as treasuries for these different cryptocurrencies and even BNB. And now we're expecting maybe some XRP treasuries to be born. But that doesn't really excite me. What excites me more is institutional money, institutional grade billions and trillions of dollars flowing into things like XRP. Right now, a lot of people started losing faith. I've been seeing it per the sentiment, as sentiment was reset with the last pullback that we saw. But I think that might have been the final shakeout before the end of the 2025-2026 cycle. So right now, volume is starting to dry up a little bit for XRP at $2.99, $4.24 billion exchanging the hands of traders still in the last 24 hours. But for the last month, where we saw build $20+ billion of trade volume, 8, 10, 15, we have seen volume begin to dry up, but we're still doing exceptionally better than where we were at the beginning of July, as retail interest is entering the market, but it's still not fully here. So let's go ahead and dive into the different articles. But remember, as always, guys, I trust capital. There's a link down in the description below, $100 free if you fund your account with I Trust Capital. This is a US-based premium custody accounts. They have institutional grade custody available to each and every one of you watching. So if you want peace of mind about your cryptocurrency, as always, of course, if you're someone who is very savvy and wants to use seed phrases, ledgers, go for it. But if you're just looking for premium grade custody, same as Coinbase Prime, what BlackRock uses for their crypto holdings, or Fidelity even, consider looking into the institutional grade custody for each and every one of you as retail investors. Link down below. Ripple advances. So this is for AI Invest XRP news today. XRP ETF approval looms as altcoin rally gains momentum. Ripple advances XRP ETF approval with BlackRock and Fidelity pending SEC settlement finalization by August 15th. Potential ETF approval could boost XRP's liquidity and trigger altcoin rally, with XRP projected to hit over $3.84 in the short term. MAGA coin finance gains attention. We can ignore that piece, but it's like the most important thing that we should look at and pay attention to, guys, is the fact that XRP ETFs are around the corner. So right now, Ripple's efforts to secure approval for the first ever XRP ETF, a move that could mark a turning point in the broader altcoin landscape. Following years of legal uncertainty, Ripple is reportedly in advanced discussions with major financial institutions, including BlackRock, BLK, Fidelity, and mind you, BlackRock has over $10 trillion of assets under management. And that's what I put on the thumbnail, if you guys realize. Larry Fink, the current CEO of BlackRock, leads the way as he has shown his bullish case for crypto with how much investments, billions of dollars, that they have put in to both ETH and Bitcoin. And now all we need to see is that approval for an ETF to see that money enter into XRP. Historical patterns suggest that ETF approvals for major cryptocurrencies often trigger sharp price surges. For example, Bitcoin and Ethereum experienced significant gains around the time their respective ETFs were approved, if you guys recall. So right now, XRP is right around the $3 mark, and we could see anywhere between 384 all the way up to $4, maybe even $5 per XRP coin immediately after seeing an XRP approval. So right now, a lot of people are wondering why? Why have we not seen BlackRock file for an XRP ETF? Top experts actually end up talking about possible reasons as to that. One of them I already mentioned is the legal completion of their SEC lawsuit, which again, we're expecting the final sentiment and just the final remarks from the SEC at a public level on August 15th, which is only 9 days away. So keep practicing patience, guys. During a recent podcast appearance, Novo Diaz Wealth Management President Nate Garassi opened, excuse me, opened that asset management behemoth BlackRock might be waiting for SEC's new exchange traded fund approval framework to put into place before filing a spot based XRP and Solana ETF. As reported by You Today, Garassi has repeatedly predicted that BlackRock would file for such products, but the financial titan is yet to make the move. The clock is currently ticking. Meanwhile, the SEC is likely to greenlight such products as early as this October, meaning that BlackRock's filing will likely arrive within a relatively short period of time if the asset management giant intends to move beyond Bitcoin and ETH, and that's expected. They've seen the most success ever for their ETF volume on BTC and ETH. So the more that they're offering on the table, as long as they're sensible cryptocurrencies with big infrastructure plays, like ETH being the number one layer one blockchain that's used across the world, and Bitcoin, of course, with the store of value and becoming digital gold, well, what comes next? The things that we can build on, especially our banking system and our financial system, because that's what Larry Fink continues to preach. So with that being said, what we can expect is this big pivot and introduction to these XRP ETFs, hopefully after the middle of August, on August 15th. And from there, guys, we begin the true rocket ship. That's when we start seeing the parabolic rise we've all been anticipating. We're getting a little bit late here in the sense of, I think, again, we're getting closer to the finish line, and they still haven't filed, he said. It remains to be seen whether BlackRock and Fidelity will actually swoop in at the last minute. Undoubtedly, the asset management behemoth is leading the player in the ETF sector. According to data from Social Value, and iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF, or IBIT, currently has $53.65 billion of cumulative inflows and net flows. All we want is a piece of that pie. And we're expecting way more people, institutions, and hopefully the final stretch there being retail investors coming back. And remember, as always, guys, what are they going to look for when they come on CoinMarketCap for the first time? They're going to look at Bitcoin, they're going to look at Ethereum, they're going to look at XRP and say, wow, I can get me some XRP for a few dollars. I don't have to have thousands of dollars to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, count me in then. That's the way you got to think, and that's the way oftentimes these different retail investors will also think, and even to some extent, institutions that do understand valuation, because they know retail usually comes in on the last and end of each cycle. So again, I'll tell you guys when it's time to take profits for me, but right now it's still accumulation phase. We are in a very neutral fear and greed index. Market sentiment has been reset, and the market now is prepared for its next leg up. I appreciate your support as always. Thank you all so much for your returning viewership. Comment down below and let me know, where do you see XRP going before the end of the 2025-2026 crypto cycle? I appreciate you, and until next time, as always, everybody, keep investing. Peace.